Hey guys, it's Edwin here, and I hope you're having a wonderful morning. Today, I'm going to be explaining to you if you're feeling it's really anxiety or something physical, and at what time should you be pushing for more tests. I'm talking about when you have, let's say, fear of choking or you have swallowing anxiety, because what I've seen many people ask is like, who do I see? Do I visit a psychiatrist? Do I visit a psychologist? Do I visit a doctor? Like, who do I really visit, or what test do I really do? So actually, first I have to acknowledge that when we have a problem in life, can be an ailment or just feeling unpleasant, we'll always have thoughts of like, who do I see? So the fact that you are thinking about who to see is also a good step is for you, because you are really recognizing that there is a problem which needs to be solved. So that's actually a very, very good place to start. So when it comes to swallowing anxiety, it's okay to even first see a doctor. This is because like some aspect of swallowing anxiety or some aspect of fear may be a physical cause. Sometimes maybe like there's something wrong in your throat. Sometimes maybe it's like some infection in your throat. So it's very, very okay to see your doctor, let's say, to do like a barium swallow test or endoscopy. But also, I'm not giving this advice as a doctor, but from what I've researched, like, it's okay to really see your doctor. But now you may be asking yourself, like, when do I push for more tests? Because something about tests, let's say when you're visiting your doctor, is sometimes these tests never really get to an end. Sometimes it gets to the point where you see your doctor, and then every time they just tell you that, hey, you are okay, there's nothing wrong with you physically. Actually, that's the point where you should now focus on seeing, let's say, someone who's has more understanding of the mind. Because when the physical tests show nothing, like when the physical tests show that there's nothing stuck on your throat, there's no infection on your throat, there's no lump in your throat, as many people say, like they feel that something is stuck in their throat, or there's no they feel that their airway is blocked, like there's nothing blocking your airway. When you've really done all these tests and your doctor tells you that logically, like, there's nothing wrong with you, you just need to stop stressing, like stop thinking about it, that's the moment where you should really stop pushing for more tests. This doesn't mean that it's wrong to go for more tests. It means that maybe you need to step back a bit and now focus on psychological test, like looking at the psychological root cause of this fear. So when the physical is okay, now focus on psychological. Also, this doesn't mean that you ignore that. If you really feel that you want to go for another scan, let's say a different kind of scan, it's okay. But you can also do them concurrently. You can also do them now as you're working on on finding out the root cause of your anxiety or the root cause of your fear. It's okay to get that second opinion. Also, something we need to realize is this: sometimes, like stress in itself, or the feeling overly anxious in itself, mostly exacerbates that physical that physical problem. It may be you are having like a problem with your throat, with your throat. So sometimes when you're really, really afraid, it may end up really making you feel more bad about it, because something about our physical problems or even our physical ailments as well is when they slip to the mind. When they get to the mind may end up exaggerating it, because it will end up developing these emotions of shame, guilt, or feeling stuck, and all those other unpleasant sensations. And those unpleasant sensations are not really things which make you feel good. So sometimes you can just do the testing with your doctor, but at the same time also focus on your fears or become aware of your psychological fears. Another thing which we need to be wary of is sometimes your quest for more tests is not really because that test will help you. It's just that the mind has put you in this spot where it doesn't want to change this loop or this pattern is that it has gotten accustomed to for a very, very long time. Because something about the mind is it will always work on a familiar path, because the familiar path has always been keeping you safe, or has always been something which is predictable for the mind. The mind will walk that path, and by steering you towards more and more tests, the mind is like, let this person focus on the test because I don't want this person to focus on me. So sometimes you need to be very, very careful that you might be chasing more tests, not really because you want to overcome this problem, but because the mind is just steering you away from looking at yourself, away from looking at the psychological fear in itself. And that's actually the point where a lot of people get stuck, looking for test, without really looking at themselves and looking at what's really driving this fear. And when you are deeply fearful, or when you've been stuck in fear for a very, very long time, it simply means that a small thing, or it also means that like your trust in your, let's say, sort of medication, or your trust in what the doctors are offering you goes very, very low because of past experience. So you may be pushing for more tests, but the test may not really satisfy you because you've never tested because you've been, let's say, you've been doing those tests for 10 years. So your mind is like, I'm just going for tests, but I just know this test will not find anything. So it gets to the point where you're doing tests, but the tests come out, you're being told that nothing is wrong with you, but you still don't believe it because of your past experiences. That's why walking or looking at your fears from a psychological standpoint really do help, especially when you've been doing a lot of tests. In fact, I worked with a client like last month, was dealing with chronic pain. So what we ended up realizing was the root cause of all the pain she was suffering was really the fact that she had lost faith in healing. So she was looking for a lot of healing techniques, a lot of healing modalities, a lot of surgeries, but she was always hoping that the next thing will be better, the next thing will be better. But what we came to realize is that she had not really believed that she would heal, and that was it. So a test can really do good for you because it can just show you that you are physically okay, but without breaking free from that psychological fear. That psychological fear will always feed you with this feeling or this thought that you are not okay and you need to do more and more tests. So hope that makes sense, guys. You push for more tests when you really feel that it's something physical, but you should also be careful that the push for more tests is not an escape from seeing the psychological fear. So best part is do the test, do 1, 2, 3 tests, and if your doctor tells you that everything is okay, then focus on the psychological fear. And if the psychological fear now doesn't really make you feel like you're okay, you can go for any other test. It's okay. Hope you found that informative, guys. Let me know the kind of test you've done for your fear of choking or for your swallowing anxiety. Until next time, have a nice day.